What's up, you guys? It's me, True Brilliance, back with a video. So I'm catching all this good natural sunlight, so I'm gonna try to do this video before the sun goes down. So check it. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about the North and the South Node and why you need to get into this, okay? The North and the South Node to me is probably the most important points in your natal chart that you need to know about. A lot of people have questions to why am I going through what I'm going through? Why is my life the way it is? And your natal chart can answer those questions for you, but what can really get down to the root of it is your North and your South Node. When I found out about these points and I started to study into it, my life and my past lives and everything about my character and who I am as a person just started to make so much more sense. So many things were answered to me once I found out what my South Node was, especially my South Node, because I'm deep up into my South Node, all right? My South Node has controlled my life for the majority of my life. I am actually just now really starting to practice my North Node. So basically, I think they call it like the snake or whatever. Like the North Node is the mouth and the South Node is the tail. The South Node is the energy and the sign that you are trying to get away from this lifetime. The North Node is the energy and the sign, or I'd rather not say the sign, I'd rather say the qualities. So the South Node is the qualities of life that you're trying to get away from, and your North Node is the qualities of life that you're trying to go toward. Now, it is very important to understand that you need to be reaching for that North Node in life. Because if you stay stuck in the South Node, most likely you're going to live your entire life not learning any of the lessons that you were supposed to learn, and you're going to have to reincarnate back into a very similar existence as what you had this lifetime. Basically, your soul isn't going to evolve as much as it needs to evolve. If you start working towards your North Node in life, you will be rewarded. You will also evolve, and you'll be taken to the next step in the next level in your spiritual evolution if you follow the path of the North Node. The challenge comes in because following your North Node and getting away from your South Node is probably one of the most hardest things that you could possibly do. It's not a walk in the park. It's not easy because your natural self, it feels comfortable for you and it feels natural for you to stay stuck in your South Node because that's what you're used to. And your South Node lets you know who you've been in your past life, in your previous lifetimes, the energy that you have been stuck in, the cycles that you have been stuck in, the patterns that you have been stuck in, the energy that has been running your life, and not in a positive way, in a negative way, is pointed to by your South Node. Your North Node is what is going to save you. Your North Node is what is going to bring you balance because it's about balancing the scales. Once again, your South Node is being tipped way too much to this side. And you need to cultivate your North Node to bring the scales back into balance. But it's not easy to practice your North Node because you're so used to practicing your South Node. Let me give you guys an example and use myself as an example. And I'm going to tell y'all a little bit of stories about my life and my past lives, all right? My South Node is in the sign of Scorpio. My North Node is in the opposite sign of Taurus. Your North and your South Node are always going to be opposite of each other. So if you have your South Node in Libra, the sign of relationships, your North Node is going to be in Aries, the sign of the individual and the sign of yourself. What does that let you know if your South Node is in Libra? You need to stop being codependent on other people and worrying about what other people are doing and being attached to people. The main theme with that is getting rid of codependency. You need to go toward Aries, your North Node, which is being independent, making decisions on your own, walking your own path, expressing yourself, being assertive, not waiting for other people, not balancing out your decisions with other people's opinions before you make a decision. You being codependent on other people, Libra, is what is holding you back in life. What will save you is becoming more independent and worrying only about the self, Aries. I'm going to give you another example. Like for me, South Node in Scorpio, North Node in Taurus. What does that tell you about me? That tells you that I get way too stuck in underworld activities, power struggles, trying to have control over people and situations, the darker side of life, always looking at the negative, always indulging in the negative, indulging in things that aren't good for me, my vices, being a warrior, always fighting against stuff, always thinking that the world is a battlefield. Taurus, what I need to be reaching toward is a calm, serene existence. I need to let go of all that intensity. I need to let go of all that fighting. I need to live a life of tranquility. I need to relax. I need to go out into nature. I need to live a life of leisure. I need to kick back, relax, take care of myself, pamper myself, love myself, and not let other people control me. And I need to not control other people and let people be as they are. Let's just take one more example, moving on to the next sign. If your South Node is in Sagittarius and your North Node is in Gemini, what the South Node in Sagittarius means that you focus way too much on the big picture in life, that you overlook the small details that you need to be looking at. You may not be that good with responsibility. You always just want to go off on adventures and all of those things instead of sticking with something or, learning, taking the time to learn different processes and things like that instead of just jumping right into things or just going off and doing what you want to do, being a little bit too adventurous and not staying within your own vicinity and learning what you need to learn first before moving on to something else, which would be Gemini. Learning with the lower mind instead of learning with only the higher mind. With Capricorn and Cancer, your South Node in Capricorn and your North Node in Cancer. South Node in Capricorn, you need to let go and stop being so rigid and cold-hearted and stop being a loner and thinking that you have to go at life alone, thinking that work is the answer, becoming a workaholic, being too materialistic, being hell-bent on becoming successful and being too strong-willed and just being too tough, having too hard of a shell. You need to be like Cancer, more nurturing. You need to build a family unit. You need to let people in. You need to care for yourself. You need to nurture yourself. You need to worry about building a family instead of building a career. Because a career isn't going to be what fulfills you, even though that is what you're used to. What's going to fulfill you is having a family, even though that may be the most furthest thing from your mind. That's what you need to balance out that Capricorn energy. So now that you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about, I have been having some very, very strong epiphanies this last week or so pertaining to me and my past lives. And just so you guys know, I posted it on my social media earlier that I'm going through a lot of Neptune transits right now. And even though I can't stand Neptune energy, I'm sorry, me and Neptune we're not here with it, all right? Neptune is the only planet that I cannot deal with. I've said this before. I can deal with Pluto. I can go toe-to-toe with Saturn. And a lot of people can't deal with Pluto and Saturn. I can deal with Pluto and Saturn. We can go toe-to-toe all day long because I know how to handle them. Darkness is not something that I'm not used to. But Neptune, True B can't deal with Neptune. Neptune is just too much when it comes to the fogginess and the non-clarity and all of that. It's just not good for me. But one of the things that has been good for me with these Neptune transits, because honey, Neptune is aspecting my moon and my sun right now. All right. Neptune is really opening up my 12th house of repressed memories, and things from the past have been coming up for me, and I'm starting to remember my past lives and remember everything that happened in my past lives and who I was in my past lives and just the meaning of my life, and everything has become so much clearer for me. So basically my journey with the South Node and North Node, basically when I found out about my South Node being in Scorpio, it just answered so many questions for me, because I've always felt like a Scorpio. I've always had very Scorpio like tendencies my whole life. Like I've always been a fighter. I've always been an underworld queen. I've always been, combative. I've always been, very tuned into the undercurrents of what was going on and looking at things as a threat. Power struggles, so many fucking power struggles, especially as a teenager. I've always been very controlling of those around me. And basically being controlling is just something that has to do with fear. You have to be controlling because you're trying to control your environment, because anything that happens outside of your control is something unpredictable. And Scorpios don't like that. Like, we like to be in control of all of our surroundings and the people in our surroundings. I would create drama where there was no drama. And this more so, of course, isn't really what's going on with me now in my life. I've transcended a lot of that behavior. But in my younger years, honey, True B was sort of a mess, all right? I could be a drama queen, but not a drama queen in a Leo type of way, like not an out in the open drama queen. It was more of like behind the scenes drama queen, I guess you could say, because, Scorpios are low key with their drama. They'll throw the bone and be like, oh, no, me? I didn't do that. Things couldn't be too calm in my life for too long, because if things were too calm and too easy, I'd have to stir some shit up, because I'm the type of person that I was so used to adversity in my past lives. I was so used to the battlefield in my past lives that if there wasn't some type of battle going on, if there wasn't somewhere where I could place my strong energy, if there wasn't something that I couldn't be controlling, if there wasn't something I could be conquering, life was boring to me. Like I had to make something pop off. I had to make my life hard, basically, in order for me to feel alive. And that sounds crazy as hell to some people, but if you're Scorpio or you have Scorpio energy, you know what I'm talking about. Like, we live for the passion. We live for the intensity. We live for the explosiveness. And I was a very explosive individual. But how this pertains to my past life, if you guys were to go look up South Node and Scorpio, it'll tell you that, basically in my past lives, and this has to deal with money and wealth as well, owning and having a lot of power and wealth in the world, and just a lot of power in the world, period. I was basically a tyrant in my past lives. I've been somebody that's been very wealthy for many of my lifetimes. I've been, on queen status for a lot of my lifetimes. I've been a queen in a lot of my past lives, a ruler, or born into, royal bloodlines, or just born into upper echelons of society where I was able to operate from behind the scenes, but have a lot of control over a lot of people. Okay. And I abused that control in my past lives. I abused my power. I didn't treat people the way that they were supposed to be treated. I didn't honor the people that I was supposed to be honoring. I took advantage of my position in life. I took advantage of my power. I took advantage of my status. I didn't feel like I had to listen to anybody. I didn't feel like I had to follow any set of rules. I just did what I want when I wanted to do it, because this is who I am. I'm this big person. So anything that anybody else on a lower status has to say or do doesn't matter, because I'm the one in charge. So you listen to me, and if you don't listen to me, then it's off with your head type of shit that I was on. All right. I'm just being honest. I'm not proud of it. You know, I'm not proud of a lot of the things that I fucking did. All right. And that's just being 100% honest. I realize that now. And, you know, I'm sorry for a lot of the things that I did. But this is the reason why I was born who I am right now, because I needed to be humbled this lifetime. I have been given several chances through several past lives to have this great power, and I did have it, but I didn't do with it what I was supposed to do with it. I was supposed to do way better with it. And even though I made significant change within the world and I did certain things, I still could have did more. I could have been better. I could have been more powerful. My impact could have been more positive. Even though I still made a huge impact, it wasn't the direct reflection of who it is that I could have been, if that makes sense. So this lifetime is a karmic lifetime for me. This lifetime is me paying back my karma for the things that I did in the past, because I'm put into a lot of humbling situations, especially with my relationship to other people, because my south node is in the first house and my north node is in the seventh house. All right. So I'm having to humble myself through my relationships with other people. And so I'm put in the position now where I'm having to be lower than a lot of people, or I'm having to respect people in a certain type of way in order to get any type of little bit of leeway. You know, I don't have the power that I used to have, and I won't have that power again until I learn certain lessons and until I humble myself a whole lot. And even though I feel like I have humbled myself a lot since my spiritual awakening, I still have a ways to go until I'm to that level. I do want to get that power and influence back if I can, but I know that it's something that I have to work toward, and I know it's something that I have to prove that I'm able to handle again. You know, it's kind of like working your way back up to the top from falling and crashing, or, you know, basically I'm having to start all over again. But I want to do the right thing this time. But my south node information and just everything has really helped me to understand that. And actually right now there's some huge aspects going on between the sun and the south node. So a lot of your past life stuff may be coming back up. You guys may be experiencing this too. You know, you guys may be remembering a lot of things from the past, and your life just may be making a lot more sense now as to why things are the way they are. Let me just tell you, everything happens for a reason. A lot of people sit up here and be like, I wonder why my life is the way it is. There is a reason why your life is exactly how it is. And a lot of the times it has to do with what happened in your past lives. And you're not aware of it. But the way your life is now, the way everything is set up, it makes perfect sense in the grand scheme of things, because you have to balance out that energy. You have to balance out what you did, you had to experience. You always have to experience the other side of the coin. So now with my North Node in Taurus, I really am just focusing on serenity, calm, peace, leisure, luxury, relaxation, calm, serenity is what I need. The minute I start to get strung out, the minute I start to go over the top, the minute that energy pressure starts to build within me and I'm getting ready to explode on somebody, I got to take it down and remember what my purpose is. And I must admit, I've really been working on it a lot, and I've really come a long way. I love the energy of Taurus. Taurus is probably my favorite energy in the entire zodiac, and now it just makes sense why it's my favorite energy. You know what I mean? Because it's the energy I so desperately need. And I learn a lot from Tauruses too, like just your guys' patience and the way you guys just handle things in such a calm way and don't get your feathers ruffled. Because I used to be a really intense person and I could never calm down. I really admire you guys. I admire you guys a lot. My mom's a Taurus moon, and she's always takes her times and just has this patience about her that I really admire. So you guys look up your north and south node. If you're not that far in astrology, just find out in your chart where it's at. Google it, read a book. Oh, and I want to tell you guys about this book that changed my life. The one that really, really went into depth about my north and south node. This book is the best book on the market for your north and south node. Right now, it's on here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's called Astrology for the Soul. $7.10 used, $12.99 used. You guys get this book. I'm actually going to Barnes and Nobles to go pick it up right now because I can't live without this book. It has like 50 pages on your south node and north node telling you what the hell you need to do this lifetime. This book changed my life. Pick up this book, all right? And get more deeper into your north and south node. Follow that north node. Follow that. If you don't know what to do in your life, if you're in a place where you're depressed, you can't afford a reading from me, you can't afford to do anything. If you want to know how to change your life, look up that north node and start there. Okay? I love you guys and I'll talk to you soon.